The people you spend the most time with will either make you successful or unsuccessful. Most people think that if you find them funny or if you have fun while they're over, you should keep them as a friend completely because they connect with you in a laughable way. But that's not true. Because if they tell you over and over and over again to do illegal things, but you like how they make you laugh, should you keep them as a friend? Of course not. So if they tell you to smoke, drink, do drugs, and stay up late, forget about God, lose your testimony, should you stay friends with them? No, of course not. And listen, I know that struggle because I lived it. I would stay up late and scroll and text my friends because they wanted to text me. But when I started to implement these 4 points we're going to be talking about today, I not only retracted myself from bad influences, but I started to regain friendships that actually helped me grow and actually helped me be a better person. Real friendships. So let's open the project. We're going to look over 4 things: how important this subject is, what real friends are, how to change, and how to become social again. Point 1, how important this subject is. There's an old saying called, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Now, technically, you are the average of everyone you spend the most time with. Technically, that's the right answer. But if you spend your time with more illegal people or criminals, you will more likely become a criminal. Simple as that. Although you may not realize it, people impact you so deeply. And listen, if you say you're immune to friends impacting you or giving you suggestions, you're going insane. Because you are affected by the collective. Yes, we are not supposed to be so influenced easily, right? But we are affected by the collective, by friends, by strangers. We are affected by them in every way. You know, there's a passage in the Atomic Habits book that talked about how there was a study done on one woman, okay? And there was like hundreds of other actors, right? And they placed, I think it was either 3 lines or 2 lines in front of them. And one of the lines was longer. Forgive me if I'm butchering this a little bit. And they told her, write something down if that line looks longer. And it was obviously longer, right? But then all those other actors wrote no. Or said no, the line's not longer. Which made her go crazy because now she's looking at everyone else's answer and she's thinking, that's obviously longer. Am I going insane? We are affected by the collective more than we think. Now listen, should we let people influence us? No. We should have discernment on what is being put into our mind and into our bodies. But even after that, we are still affected psychologically, mentally, spiritually by words from people, by body language from people. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's just the honest truth. Our minds are affected by other people's behavior. You will become the people you are around. Just like how parent to a child relationship works. If a parent is always abusive and mad and angry, their child will most likely become mad, angry, a yeller. That's just how it works. That's the likelihood. Now, is there a possibility that the child will recognize this and say, hey, no, I'm not going to become the monster. I'm going to become the line in the sand. That could happen, but the only thing about it is that it's not usual that happens. So you will become, this is just plain, this is ancient knowledge. You will become who you are around. So now you know how important this subject is of trying to find those right friends so that you can become successful. Not for your personal gain, but for the gain of others and real connection and friendship. So now you know, which is great, but it doesn't get you anywhere. It's just information. But before we get into action, we have to look at God's definition of what a friend is. Godly biblical friendship. Point 2, what real friends are. Here's what nobody talks about. God does not see friendship as all laughs and giggles. He sees friendship as keeping another person sharp or metaphorically smacking their hand before touching a stove. Friendship isn't just about smiling together, it's about being there for each other. Even when it gets tough, even when you're mad at each other, even when you've had a disagreement, even when the circumstance is sad or it's awkward, still be there. It's about being there when life gets tough. And it's about being willing to lay your life down for them. Proverbs 27:17 ESV, it says, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Proverbs 27:6 ESV, it says, faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. A perfect example of a godly and biblical friendship is David and Jonathan. You're gonna love this. After David had finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as himself. 1 Samuel 18:1. See, this is not a romantic relationship. Some men get a little weary about reading this passage because it sounds like they're becoming one as man and man. Like, no. It was not even a romantic relationship, especially back in those biblical times. Men could kiss each other on the cheek and no one would bat an eye, because it was the same love that we can show our wife, we can show to a friend, because love is sacrificial. That's what real friendship is. Sacrificing time for one another. In the hard times, the funny times, the happy times, the sad times, the awkward times, the weird times, it's about being there, sacrificing yourself and your time to be there for a brother. So now you know the info and all the information about how this is important and what real friendship is. But that doesn't get you anywhere either, does it now? No. We need to start to take action. Real action. Actionable action. Why does that not sound right? How to change your friends. This is going to be a difficult section. So if you're not tough enough for it, it's okay. Come back to it when you're ready. Number 1, accept who they are. Believe that they will come to know Jesus or come to know Jesus better, or if they already know Jesus, start bettering themselves. But you also have to be realistic. People don't like to change. People don't want change. So be prepared if they don't want to change. Accept who they are right now. Point 2, make yourself unattractive. This is going to sound kind of weird, especially if you have a man-to-man thing, and a woman-to-woman thing, But bear with me. In this book, Atomic Habits, and I know I'm bringing up a lot in this video, I don't know why. In this book, Atomic Habits, it talks about how if you want to lose a friend that's not good for you, and you know that's a possibility, if you want to, you have to just make yourself the most boring person in the world. It can sound manipulative, and it can sound even mean. But no one's going to want to talk to you if you're like, yeah, okay, got it. No one's going to want to talk to you. And especially don't completely ghost them if they are a friend from somewhere you will go regularly, like church, work, programs, school, etc. Don't completely ghost them because you will see them on a regular basis. You know, the Bible also... I should have probably put this in before, but the Bible also understands that some people aren't going to be good for you. Some people are just seasons. Point 3, and this will also be leading into the next point, so just know that. Point 3, become better first, and then you will start to spot the better. When you start to become better on your own first, which can be difficult, but you can, it's possible, trust me, you will start to spot the people who are on the same mission as you. Especially if you live in big cities, you can find those who are on the same mission as you. Are you going to be the same exact people, twins? No, of course not. But that's the awesome part about it, that you get to talk deeply with another man who understands that talking deeply is important without debating or without, fighting each other. If you start going outside more, you will notice the people who are trying to improve themselves. And, I'm going to be real with you guys for a second. This is why I've been wanting to go to church more. Have I been able to? Not necessarily, but I've had this yearning to go to church more, to talk with my peers, to find those who are trying to improve themselves so I can not be hypocritical. Now you got your actionable steps, or your actionable action steps.
Yeah, boy.
Which is great. But the third step in the third step can have a risk involved. If you don't remember, I was talking about become better first and you will spot the better. But there's a problem with that. You could become an antisocial because you just got yourself better on your own. Well, not on your own, but with God. And now you're better, but you've been kind of isolating yourself from people, right? So how do you socialize again? Especially because, from what you knew, the only way to socialize is to laugh, enjoy each other, don't talk about the serious thing, only talk about what vibes you like. Here's how to be social again. Point 4. How to become social again. I'm not going to tell you a step-by-step on what to actually say to other people, or other men, or sisters. Because if I tell you, you will get into your head about the timing of your pronunciation, the timing involved on, I gotta go up there now. No. Go up there now. No. You know, like you're gonna overthink it so easily. So I'm not gonna tell you the exact words on what to say. Really think about it and come up with it. But don't come up with it. Because here's the next thing. The only way you will actually go up to another guy, and I know this sounds kind of weird, like a cat call or whatever, you know, but the only way you're going to go up to another guy to talk with him about something is, number 1, if you have a purpose to go talk to him for something, and number 2, if you just take your foot, put it in front of you, and take your other foot and put it in front of you. The only way to actually move is to move yourself. And listen, you know, there's this saying for, you know, cold approaching, okay? And the saying is you have to have 100 no's before you have 1 yes. And that can apply to other things too. You have to have 100 no's before 1 yes. But in this situation, you have to be socially awkward 100 times before you become socially understood. It's difficult, especially if you only know book knowledge like I do. It's difficult. Trust me, I know. But it's possible. Like I said, I've been able to find those right friends, find the people who understand me. Listen, here's the bottom line, okay? You probably have had bad friends, and you probably have bad friends, and it's not your fault. But keeping them after knowing they are bad influences is like saying, I want to be unsuccessful, without saying, I want to be unsuccessful. Choose a side. Choose comfort or choose discipline. Choose comfort or choose connection. You live life once, what are you going to do about it?